I remembered them out of order as well. I thought section 1 was area between curves, but that's section 4. Section 1 is average value. We are not going to do 8.2 and 8.3 because they are repeated from earlier units. You need a packet. Oh, they're on the back wall.
Matt, can you give me a packet?
You're right. That's probably helpful.
I love Matt.
Either grab your own packet, or it looks like some people have them already, huh? Okay. We will be doing 3D drawing starting in section 5.
What if you can't draw?
That's why they are pre-drawn in the packet.
Oh, good. Thanks, Matt. I can't draw for
Does anybody else need one?
You don't have to be able to draw them as long as you can picture them in your head,
No.
which I know some people can't. So we're gonna go over, that's why I dedicated more time to those sections.
Yes,
I just talk out loud.
No, I just wanna, like, you might do this, so I just wanna check. Oh, no.
Listen, no drawing of horses over there, okay?
Oh, God. Good job, Matt.
Yeah, you're right. Did you go to this school?
Matt, you stink.
Okay.
So thank you for giving me
Uh,
a packet.
put all of that away. You've got multiple things open except your packet.
Oh, sorry. It's game day in my mind, but in another place.
Game day here too?
It's not game day.
It is, game day every day
is
here.
AP test day. That's it.
I guess that is, that's like the that's like the championship day. This is like the 162 game baseball season where there's lots of games, but they're important, but the AP test is like
This is
playoffs.
practice. This is just practice, man. Normal
Isn't
test
like
for
the
game
AP
day,
test like the
then
World
the
Series
AP test is like
or the Stanley Cup?
championship
Well,
game.
except
We're going to reverse Super Bowl, then we have.
Yeah, we don't have a
college.
fun.
No,
That's-
when you
that's
say
college.
you give us a score in July.
Oh my.
July 4th.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the picture that's there, I want,
Owen.
Hi Donald, hi Albert.
but you didn't put it away, you just.
I'll your phone.
I'll get it. Put it away, Owen.
Put your phone away when the room calls you.
It should be like,
I
yes,
would
sir.
prefer
Yeah.
not to tell anyone else to put away their Chromebooks or phones. Just
Spencer.
like, Unit
That's
8
what
is not, for the most part, gonna be something that you're gonna wanna make up on your own because you're busy studying for another class. So, the picture that's there, without it being in color, might be, yeah, that's why I thought it looks just like a rectangle from my perspective here. The rectangle is not going to be the important portion of it. So, the curvy picture is the actual function, right? Like that's f of x or something? Oh, yeah, they called it f of x. And the integral from a to b would be the area, and that's what I've shaded in. That's actually kind of like the highlighted portion of it. The rectangle in the background is a secondary explanation. So I don't know if you want to fix your picture or what, but do know that this is the focus. So I feel like by now, we've had 2 units where you guys should get 2 units of integration where you should just like have it absolutely down that this stands for the area underneath the curve from A to B. Okay? Now, this particular section is on finding the average value, which for most people is better understood as average height. I mean, average value is 100% correct, and when you don't have a picture, value is a better term. But if you're looking at a picture, it's average height. So this curve obviously is going up and down and has all sorts of different heights, and your equation, f of x, tells you the height at every individual spot. Well, the rectangle that is drawn there is a flat line that represents the average height. Okay? If we're trying to find the area of a rectangle, or theoretically a distorted rectangle, which is what our curve is, it would be width times height. So if we are trying to find the average height, we are going to view this distorted rectangle as a single height that is the average of all the heights, and so it would look like a regular rectangle. And if we do that, the height of this rectangle would represent the average height. And so we basically use this super straightforward, simple formula that we've known forever to find the average height of a curve. Area is the integral from A to B. How do we find the width? Who do we call him first again? Grady's gone. No, not get called on too much, plus he was immune for a week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you should probably call him.
No, I call on Owen all the time because he's always on his phone.
You should call his
Dan.
messages, and I always answer correctly.
How do I find the width of this picture? I mean, it's not meant to be complicated, no. Yeah,
What?
the width is just B minus A. So the area is the integral from A to B. The width is B minus A. The average height is usually going to be represented by f of c. Now, it doesn't have to be written that way, but like notation in the packet, that's how you're going to see it. So if I'm trying to solve for the average height, I'm going to do it by taking the integral divided by the width. And then that's how we find the average height of a function, which is conveniently written right here in two ways. Now, the only reason I showed you how to find the average height is because, there's way too many things to memorize. And so if you forget how to find average height, I wanted to show you how to figure it out so you don't necessarily need to memorize it. Like myself personally, I never memorize any of the formulas if I can help it. For me, it's easier to learn just how it works, and then I figure it out each time. Like actual data, like just actual formulas, you can only memorize so many, like your brain only holds so many of them. So I just try to learn how to figure them out, and so that's what this is from. The actual problems they're not gonna be that bad at all. Like we have 2 days for this section up on the calendar. My guess is it'll take us a day and a half. I don't think we're gonna get through all the examples today. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. Like you just integrate like normal and then divide by the width. Like they're relatively easy. 8.1 and 8.4, you're gonna find straightforward, and you will be lulled into thinking Unit 8 is like super easy.
I'm sure it's not.
It's not, yeah. Volume, it isn't hard, it's just a lot of steps and work, which is where a lot of mistakes come. Okay, so we have an actual problem. Who did I call on here? Dan, pick somebody, please. Marcia. Hi. Is it for me? Do I get to go? No, it's not for me. Okay. Marcia, can you help me with A? Find the average value of F on the interval 1 to 4. So, if you find it easier to write the formula down first, like a generic one, you can. If you find it easier just to do the problem, go ahead and do that too. I don't know which way you prefer. Would you prefer me to write down a generic formula first, or do you prefer just to kind of go into the problem? Sure. So I've got 1 over b minus a, which is the same thing as dividing by the width, but they just write it as a fraction in the front of the integral. Integral a to b of the function. Okay, now we were just given all this info. For the most part, we're just gonna put it in there. So I was hoping you could set up the info for me and we can have somebody else like do it.
So we have to find it in.
Not you, not you, not you.
I have a question.
Oh, then wait.
Just like
So,
plug in B and
correct. A, B, f of x.
so it's 1, and then divided by 4 minus 1. And then the integral
Same numbers.
of where? Or, I have to figure out the limit.
All I heard was sneezing.
Sorry.
The a and the b are gonna be the same numbers from there that go on the integral. So 1 to 4. And then I think I heard you say f of x. Yep, so 3x squared minus 2x. Correct. Setting them up, like setting up the information is absolutely very straightforward. It's just, knowing when to use which formula, etc. Okay, somebody you want to call on? Seth? Maybe? Oh, Olivia. Okay.
And then do we just find the integral, so it'd be, 1/3 on the outside, and then we would integrate the inside, so it'd be x cubed, minus x squared,
Correct.
and from 1/4.
Correct. And plus c is not needed, but can be put there. Okay, so what do we got? We have 1/3, 64 minus 16, minus 1/3, 1 minus 1. So that is 0, so we just don't even need to calculate that. I should be able to do that in my head. 44, 48, third of 48 is 16.
Yep. Yeah. Where did you get the third though?
1 over 4 minus 1.
I assume, sorry.
Oh, wait.
Why are we putting it on both?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, you were asking a different thing. Go ahead, say it again.
I was asking where you got the 1/3 from.
This 1/3
Yeah,
or
you just brought that over from.
the formula?
Yeah.
Correct.
I,
So I get what you're asking me now. So the integral itself can be integrated into x cubed minus x squared.
yes,
The 1/3 would be in the front of both.
and it comes from the,
1 over b minus a.
okay.
Yeah, if you would like to set it up different where you find this answer and then divide by 3, you can.
Yeah, okay, that's what I did, so, that makes, okay. Cool.
Go ahead and ask away if somebody else is confused where info came from, whatever.
Oh, actually, you should put the, coefficient or the multiplier on both of them.
By both of them, you mean in front of the integral and in front of the answer? Or
I mean,
in front of both of,
solving,
like,
both of the solving.
like over here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your.
So-
It's technically correct to do it either way.
Yeah.
If you would like to only write 1/3 once, you can, but then you have to make sure to,
Do that in the inside.
you have to make sure to like write it so that it indicates it's on both.
Alright, so is the final answer just 16?
Correct.
Okay.
And that was gonna be my next question to somebody. Oh, she left.
Should use.
Yeah, I know. Emily, what does 16 even stand for?
For the answer scene?
Yeah, what does an answer of 16 represent?
It's the average value, like, of that.
Way to read the question. Way to read the question, okay. You're not wrong, you're not wrong.
Oh, yeah.
This is gonna be the average height of this equation. So if we were to graph that equation and change the window on our calculator to only go from 1 to 4, we would find that the average height was 16. So that's what the average value represents. Okay, good. Now, I didn't discuss the next part. And I don't know if you guys understand what it is asking or not. So it says find the values of C guaranteed by the mean value theorem for integrals. So I tried telling you that f of C is the notation that is usually used for average value or average height. One annoying thing is mean value theorem for integrals is also a correct name for average value. So lots of names that mean the same thing. This is basically saying figure out the C value that would give us an answer of 16 in that equation that is up above the top of the board. So we are going to take our answer and make it equal to the equation we had at the beginning. Was it 3x squared? Okay, so 3x squared minus 2x. Basically, we want to know, 16 was the average height. We want to know if that function has an exact height of 16 somewhere. So we're trying to find when the function is exactly the same as the average. So we solve that.
Like the x value that it's at 16?
Correct. Now this is also going to be similar to when we did mean value theorem for derivatives forever ago. Remember it had a c in the equation? We can't write x's. It's an annoying detail that they find important. So if it asks you to find the values of c, it's telling you to use a c instead of an x. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a hard change, but it's still a change. Who did oh, Emily, I called on you. Who are you gonna call on? You don't need to apologize.
That's a good pick.
This is the principal.
How do I solve that?
Um,
Cause I feel like it's been a long time since you guys did quadratics.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Professor.
I'll help him.
Professor.
I'll help him.
There we go.
He seems to know how to help, so.
Well, I heard him saying,
Set it equal to 0.
I heard him saying quadratic formula. I think I heard somebody else whisper factor.
Set it equal to 0.
It has to be equal to 0. For quadratics, they all have to be equal to 0 to solve them. So, well, that's why I thought I would revisit this one because it's been a while for you guys. So yes, you can do quadratic formula, you can do factoring, you could theoretically do completing the square, but nobody's going to. I would assume this factor is relatively easy. You go ahead. Yeah, if you do, they, well, actually, no, I doubt they would give it to you. Because you don't have to use it ever. Like, if it's on the calculator section, you wouldn't use quadratic formula, you would use your calculator to find the answers. If it's on the non-calculator section, they're not gonna require quadratic formula, it would be set up to be factored.
Oh, perfect.
So, three C squared can only come from three C and C, and then now 16 has, you know, multiple options. We've got 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Our goal is to figure out how to get -2 in the middle quickly. It's not gonna be a 16 and a 1, because no matter where I put a 16, they'd be too far apart to get 2. So my guess is it's probably gonna be 4 and 4. I'll try that first, and if it doesn't work, I erase it.
Try again.
Yep, this is the guess and check method, which goes quicker for calc students than the organized method of multiplying the 3 and -16 and doing that route. So this would give me 12 and 4, which does not give me 2. So that tells me it's gonna be 2 and 8. So I'm probably gonna have to put the 2 here, because if I put the 8 there, that would make 24, so 2 and 8. And that's gonna give me 6 and 8, and I can get a -2 with a -8, +6.
Well, actually, I have to do it where you do.
Yes.
Go ahead then. I can't fit that here for sure.
Wait,
Otherwise-
you said there's a method that we learned before that, like.
I hate the one with the factor with the.
Are you telling me that other people don't guess and check? There's a way not to do it with guessing and checking?
You guess, or you check.
Alright, I'm a little worried I have to show this to you guys, but alright.
I've never done that.
Just facts.
Oh, wait, never mind.
I put 16.
Multiply the outer numbers.
I remember.
You know where Brooks is?
No.
What?
Okay, Donald, not now.
Okay. We'll talk about that.
Multiply the outer two numbers. -48. We want the factors of -48 that add up to -2. So 6 and 8. So -8 and +6 would multiply to -48, add to -2. And I'm gonna replace the -2 with that pair in whatever order I want. So 3C squared minus 8C plus 6C minus
Do
16.
you guess and check the negative?
There's no guessing and checking here, no.
Wait, did you guess and check the 8 and the 6?
Can I just show that? By guess and check, do you mean which? Oh, you're just supposed to just know the factors of 48 in your head.
No, but you have to like keep trying though until you find like the 6.
You're supposed to just know them.
But those aren't the only factors.
They're the only factors that I can make a 2 with.
Oh, right. Okay, I get it now. Never mind.
Each half you do, greatest common factor.
2A minus 4AC.
On the second half, we've got a, 2. Each half has a common parentheses,
Oh, I get it.
and if I divided out that common parentheses, I'd be left with C plus 2. That's the organized method.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, either way, I get 2 different C values. I get a C value of 8/3 and a C value of -2. And I'm going to call, no, somebody, wait, who got picked? Spencer, you never got to answer yet. Okay, Spencer, are those my answers? Unsure? Okay, no. Not my answers, because my answers are only supposed to be in between 1 and 4.
Yeah.
8/3 is between 1 and 4, so I will keep that. That is not between 1 and 4. It is a correct C value, just not a correct C value between 1 and 4. Okay, good. I was definitely wrong before. This will definitely take us more than a class and a half. I'm not saying that in a bad way, just like mentally, I know we're gonna need both full days. I did set the 8-1 homework to be due Sunday night, so that shouldn't be a problem since it'll just be 7-4 and 8-1 due Sunday. Okay, now we are on to calculator questions.
Yay.
Yeah, so grab your calculator. Dan, I don't want you using that calculator.
I don't have another.
You are going to get distracted and go to something else.
It's not hot. You live in Minnesota.
What?
Okay, Herb Brooks is super old and he's been dead basically as long as these people are alive. So it is not a shock that they don't know him.
Spencer doesn't know Herb Brooks.
No one knows.
If you are a hockey,
Exactly.
if you are a hockey fan, you know Herb Brooks.
Someone does.
At least someone does.
You guys have driven,
country singers.
you've probably driven past his memorial a whole bunch of times.
Brooks is done, bruh.
He died on the way to Forest Lake, and there's a spot on the freeway where he died.
Oh.
Yeah. If you guys have ever had to drive on 35E up north, right before Forest Lake, there's a whole bunch of big turns going around Forest Lake itself. And he fell asleep at the wheel and,
And USA Hockey.
okay, who do we have? Spencer, who is gonna help us go? No, over here.
Okay. Maggie.
Sorry, man, I forgot you were sitting over here. I was trying to get him to choose somebody out of his comfort zone.
Yes, not gonna happen.
Spencer will find a way.
All right, guide me. And if you want some help, I will help you.
So I start with the integral from 10 to 20 of 6.1 e to the,
Yeah, that.
yeah.
Okay, how come 10 to 20?
Because it's from 2010 and 2020, and then we're starting in the year 2000.
Perfect, it tells us 2000's the beginning, and we're only looking at 10 to 20. Okay, good. You wanna keep going, you want somebody else to go?
I can keep going.
All right,
So then you take the integral of that.
okay. Are you doing it in steps on your calculator or something?
What?
Are you doing it in steps on your calculator? Got it. It's not wrong, I wouldn't recommend it. Generally, you wanna try to type it in all in one if you can,
Okay.
but it's not wrong. So like if you have the older style calculator that only lets you do one line at a time, that's where that's preferred. Oh, sorry, I'll pause, yeah.
Do you not do the thing up here where you would like multiply it by 110, like 1b minus 6?
That's actually what I was asking
Oh,
her.
okay.
She wanted to do the integral first and then divide by it afterwards is what I was assuming. Yeah. Yeah, you're correct though. You 100% can do this all in one step if you prefer. And there's nothing wrong with if you want to divide by 10 after the fact. But since we're using calculator, I would probably recommend just typing it all in at once. Now, do you guys want some refreshers on how to type this all in?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, this is on that sheet I passed out to you, and actually relatively soon I have a worksheet with problems that have to be done on a calculator only. And I did not give you this worksheet yet because one of the problems is on average value. So I had to wait till I taught this. Okay, so actually I don't even have to put it in Y1. I don't need to do it on the graphing part if I don't want. So, I am going to type in 1 over, it's not like 20 minus 10 is hard in your head, but know that you don't have to do that. Like, you can just type in 20 minus 10. So I'm gonna put a fraction for it. Hey, that's new. Does your guys' calculator have that written in green?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that's new. They used to have the fraction thing never used to have an actual button.
Not written in green for me.
Yeah, I would bet it's when you got your calculator, probably. I'm sure this app has been updated, but try hitting hit alpha X. I wonder if it works on all of them.
It does.
Yeah.
I know.
Even though it's not printed on yours?
But this isn't mine, it's Spencer's.
Interesting. Okay.
Use alpha X when you can.
Otherwise, the fraction button is alpha F1. So that's where fraction, I must hit the button. Okay, so I'm gonna type in 1 over 20 minus 10. So where this is handy is if you have weird decimals, which you're gonna get on the calculator portion of the AP. So you don't have to actually subtract them first, you just type them in. So 1 over 20 minus 10, and then we want to do the integral. For most people, the integral is going to be alpha f2. For everyone, it's under the math button, so it doesn't matter where you'd like to go to get everything. The math button generally has everything. But it's down below the screen for some people, it's number 9. And then I'm pretty much just going to type in the info. The integral from 10 to 20.
6.1.
Yeah, thanks, because I did not remember that.
So, and then,
0.014 or something?
yes.
I don't know why I remember that part, but not the other part. We're not gonna use T on the calculator. There is a T on there, but that's actually a different T. So you just use a variable and that's the convenient button. And then hit enter, and that's gonna be our average value.
Oh, that's easy.
So, who should we go with?
What is?
Wait,
7.5.
no, Maggie, I'm gonna let Maggie call on somebody that she would not normally call on.
Yeah.
Kylo?
That's the
Kyla.
average.
How would I answer this on the AP test?
Yes, correct.
Like, what should you write down as the answer? I was more worried about the number than anything, but
Billion,
how far do you have to round on the AP test?
3.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I think you were trying to figure out units and everything. I'm just, right now, I just want the number.
3, but my question is when in the intermix of it, you do 6? Like,
Usually you want it at least 6 to 8 decimals during the problem. This one, though, is not one that you, there is no decimals, yeah. So what would you answer on the AP test, I guess is what I was getting at.
7.531.
Or
2.
7.532. Actually, both are correct. So you can just terminate or crop it off, and 531 would be correct. Or you can round, 532 would be correct.
Wait.
Either one is correct, 7.531 or 7.532. Hey, come on. I think you guys just out of habit will probably put 2 because it just doesn't feel natural to just chop it off.
Yep.
That's okay. Okay. Uh-oh, so what are the units? Oh, well, this is the next person. Did you call on somebody?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I thought I already said it, kind of.
Oh, I definitely didn't hear this if you did say it.
I'm not gonna call someone, or can I just say
Either one.
a billion people?
Now, the weird thing is, it feels strange to say 7.532 billion people. I think most people would prefer to just say 7,532,000. I would think either one would be correct. Rather than saying 7.532 billion, you could write the number 7,532,000 people.
Million? That would be
532 million, yes, thank you. The advantage of writing it the other way is you don't even need a word, you just say the number and then people. Okay, why don't you guys try 3 on your own? And let's see if you can come up with it. So there's actually nothing to solve, FYI, if that's what you're trying to do. You're basically just explaining what that would find. There's nothing to type in, there is no equation. addicted to that. But it's like every day, you didn't even answer it yet.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Got it. The next question's tomorrow.
Alright.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Is the
And the second one, B is average cost per day.
Integral?
no, like the where you're.
Oh, interval, okay.
The days.
Number of days since July first.
Per day, average per day.
I know.
Matt, you need to be called on now.
You had immunity for a week though.
He had immunity, but he lost it as soon as you started putting in eraser and so it's true.
Why are you messing, Matt, you just ruined your own, you just
You
got
had immunity for a
immunity.
week.
No.
You had
We're
such
just funny.
good-
He didn't need immunity.
You should
Okay,
just, like,
all right, Matt, what is the integral from 0 to 90 represent? The total cost spent. Yes, but there's more details needed.
What?
Overnight.
Overnight.
Yeah. From
From day 0 to 90, or.
From July 1st. Yep, total cost spent on AC for 90 days,
Oh, that's what I said.
starting July 1st.
Is this true?
There's no equation, what do you mean, is this true?
No, like.
Like, is this how much I'm paying for my
Yes,
days?
this is like actually modeled.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, you could create your own model for sure.
No, like just this one specifically.
There is no equation, so it can't
No,
be a
like
model.
just this, no, like the air conditioner. I wonder if that like actually.
Is air conditioning real?
Daily cost for air conditioning. What do you mean?
Is this true?
So I could, if I kept track of how much I spent each day on AC, then I could come up with a model from that.
I'm stupid.
Oh, I was not saying that, but okay. B,
My head's on.
Matt,
Yes.
pick
Yeah.
Marvel.
Marvel.
Marvel, who is on his Chromebook,
Oh my gosh.
who is studying for another class again.
The humanity.
This is 2 days in a row. Marvel, what about B? Did you even look at this?
Can I call someone else?
Do you want me to answer?
Do you want him to give you some assistance?
Yeah.
It would be helpful if you followed along.
Do you want me to help him or do you want me to answer?
That's both, the same.
Alright, it would be the average cost from day 0 to day 90, from July 1st to whatever the heck 90 days later is.
I won't write that part, but yes. The average cost per day. So like, it's obviously gonna cost you a different amount each day because the temperature outside is different. And so then this is just gonna be the average cost per day. For the 90 days. Starting July 1st.
Can you say per day on AC?
Yeah, for the average cost per day for AC, yes. No, thank you, I forgot that part. It's virtually the same answer as over here, except instead of total cost, it's average cost spent per day. Yep, good. Okay, now, we are not gonna be able to fit the next question in, and so that's what I'm gonna fit in tomorrow.
We should totally fit the next one.
Donald,
I would,
You just do it tomorrow.
Can we skip that one entirely?
I would,
Yes, Spencer, you're mean.
I would try to start some of the questions in this homework. The next one is gonna be, the difference on the next one is only for the fact that you don't have a specific equation, you have a piece function with a bunch of equations. So you'll know if you run into a question like this in the homework. I'm sure there is one or two in the homework like it. You'll be able to do a majority of the homework already. Because most of it is just on average cost.